Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar session. My name is Grigory. I'm Operational Marketing Coordinator for CAN Portfolio at Teltonika Telematics. I'm hosting the session together with my colleague Robertas Armenaitis, who's our CAN Portfolio Product Owner at Teltonika. And today's topic is tachograph management for light commercial vehicles. And the timing and the reason why we are meeting today is not a coincidence. Just exactly in 2 weeks, a new regulation comes into force, and it will bring thousands of new vehicles into compliance obligations that they've never had before. And this is a real business opportunity for you, for both of you who are already in tachograph field and for those who are just considering joining it. And here's what we'll cover today. We'll start with the regulation context, what is happening right now, what it means for fleets, and what kind of market opportunities it creates for you. And then Robertas will talk about FMX 150 device and its new tachograph management functionality designed specifically for light commercial vehicles. And after that, we will look at how you can avoid missed tachograph download files. And this is the most common compliance failure we see. And then we'll go beyond compliance, showing the value of CAN-based fleet management on top of what you can offer together with tachograph solution. And we'll close our webinar with Q&A session, so feel absolutely free to leave your questions in Q&A box, and we'll come back to them in the end. And before we start, I would like to bring a quick background of tachograph industry in general, especially for those who are new to this field. Tachograph rules have existed for decades in European Union, and the idea is pretty simple. If you run a commercial vehicle across Europe, you must follow rules. Rules of driving time, of rest periods, following the speed limit. And the goal is also simple. The goal is to ensure road safety, driver protection, and fair competition between logistic operators. And in order to ensure you follow the rules, you should have a device which is called tachograph, and it's installed in your vehicle and records driving time, rest, and speed of the vehicle. And until now, this rule, tachographs, they had to be applied only to trucks above 3.5 tons or passenger vehicles carrying 9 or more people. And tachographs themselves have been changing throughout the time, because previously we had analog and digital tachographs, but in 2019 smart tachograph was introduced. And later on in 2023, smart tachograph version 2 became mandatory for all new heavy vehicles present at Europe. And version 2 brought automatic border crossing detection. It gives much more stronger visibility to controlling authorities. And then we had retrofit deadlines just not that long time ago. In 2024, all their analog and digital tachographs had to be replaced with smart tachograph version 2. And then just last year, even vehicles with smart tachograph version 1 had to be upgraded to the second version of smart tachographs. And by today, heavy transport has gone through several waves of changes of tachographs. Fleets adopted, integrators, you built your own solutions, and in general, the whole ecosystem matured throughout the years. And Teltonika products also were becoming more and more advanced. And for now, we have FMX 650 devices as our go-to solution for heavy vehicles, with support of tachographs, support of FMS data and trailer data, and even more. But this year, 2026, brings significant changes in the scope of vehicles affected by tachograph regulation. So, as you may know, from 1st of July 2026, which is literally in 2 weeks, vehicles used in international transport across the European Union with a maximum mass above 2.5 tons must follow the same rules that trucks have followed for years. And there are 4 main points you need to remember. First of all, international vans should be equipped with Smart Tachograph version 2, which is the latest version of Tachograph. Second, drivers must follow European Union rules of driving and rest time. And of course, tachograph files including driver data and vehicle data must be downloaded regularly. And last but not least, those tachograph files must be stored at least for 1 year and provided to authorities upon their request. So this is not niche or optional regulation. This is a hard regulation deadline applied to a lot of vehicles and vans in European Union. And approximately there is 36 million vans on European roads, and based on our estimation, around 800,000 vans will fall within the scope of this new regulation. So this creates a truly new wave of 800,000 vehicles that need tachograph installed. And very important point that these are not truck operators who already have tachograph processes in place, and many van operators are starting from zero right now, and drivers need to learn how to use tachographs, administrators need to learn how to manage tachograph files, fleet managers need to understand driving and rest time, and companies also need to prepare for audits and roadside checks. So in general, it takes right now a lot of time and resources, and fleets are investing heavily in it. And most important thing for international vans, that remote download of tachograph files is not just nice to have, but actually it's essential for their survival, because in heavy transport, this is already clear. A truck can go from Poland to Spain and stay away from the depot for more than 28 days, and there is simply no way to download tachograph files manually at the depot. And with international vans, it's not about a distance like in a truck case, but it's about a speed, because the whole business model of international vans was built on speed, involving only sender, van, and receiver, and they didn't have usually any depots or hubs involved. So, for example, you would need to send some time-critical manufacturing equipment from Germany to Bulgaria, and you could do it with vans, as one of their competitive advantages was speed and flexibility. And some of them even stating that they will pick up your order in next 2 hours after you fill out the form. So now just imagine what it means to add truck-style compliance into that model, meaning you need to follow mandatory rest periods or not to overlimit the allowed driving time. And that's already a big operational shift in their model. But also they should ensure that tachograph file downloads are done on time. And what are the options for them? And the first option is traditional manual tachograph workflow, involving vehicle coming to the depot, to the return station, where you have an employee. So vehicle came, it doesn't bring any value. You should make sure that you have this employee who knows how to use special equipment, who downloads the files to each vehicle, then takes the device pretty similar to flashcard and brings it to PC, transfer it there, and maybe some cloud-based archiving or analytic tools further involved. But it works for depot-based operations, but many international vans don't return to depots frequently, or simply they avoid them in everyday operations. And if you force vans to come to depot for manual download, you simply slow them down, and that really hurts their business model. So we come to the conclusion that they don't have a bandwidth for manual compliance. That's why automation is very essential for their survival. And if you want to support these operators, your tachograph workflow must be remote, scheduled, audit ready, not dependent on depot visits, definitely. And what about operators who think that they can just ignore the download requirement? Definitely there will be some fleets that will say, it's okay, we'll handle it later, sometime, not definitely now, we have other priorities. But you see the fines in different countries, and they can significantly increase the cost budget for companies who decide to ignore this regulation. But there is also another side effect of staying non-compliant. Just imagine I'm ordering a van to deliver my goods, and I wanted to come this morning, and this evening it should arrive to my destination. And the company which provides me services decided not to follow the rules. And on the highway, there is a roadside check, and authorities just simply want to make sure that the van is compliant and follow all the rules. And when they check, they see exceeded number of driving hours. It leads not only to extra cost to the business, but authorities at the place can start detailed investigation, which will take more time. And that's it, vehicle stopped for maybe more than an hour. And it doesn't bring any value to the business, it doesn't bring any value to me, because probably it will not deliver the goods this evening. So in this case, such companies simply damage their business model built on speed, because they are stopped by authorities, they don't meet SLA, and definitely they damage their reputation. And our conclusion that this regulation for light commercial vehicles and their business model will bring van operators to you, and they will ask you for remote and automated tachograph solution. And the question is, are you ready? And when a fleet comes to you, what do you have in your checklist? Do you have hardware that supports tachograph and is cost-effective for van? Are you sure you have something built for LCV installation and optimized for LCV deployment? And can you automate the tachograph workflow with this hardware? And will it work with their specific van, with Mercedes Sprinter, with their Fiat Ducato, with their Ford Transit? And these three questions lead us directly to what we developed for you. And my colleague Robertas will talk about our solution.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see so many of you. We have more than 200 people who joined. So I believe that this is a very relevant solution for you. So I'm very happy to introduce it to you. So to explain you the background a little bit, previously we had and still have FMC 650 that is currently used with tachograph solutions. However, that is not compatible with light vehicles, right? You can use some extra CAN adapters, but in general, FMC 650 works mainly with trucks, heavy-duty machinery, construction machinery, and so on. So by creating a solution for this regulation, we were thinking of adding like light vehicles to the 650 or maybe tachograph support to FMC 150. And in this case, it was a better option to add tachograph solution to FMC 150. What we were doing in the past half a year to make this work for you. And this solution works with all these most popular tachographs like BDO, Stoneridge. It is compatible with TachoSync, so you can have like full solution for your client's fleet. And two main features that we have with this solution is live tachograph data. So as you might already know, this regulation was made for driver safety, for safety on the roads in general, and that's why there are some driving and rest time rules. For example, maximum 4.5 hours of uninterrupted driving, right? No more than 9 hours of driving per day, and minimum 11 hours of daily rest. And to track all these times, what you can do is check the working state of FMX 150, card presence, selected activity duration, daily or weekly driving time, And what is more, that you can also send some real-time notifications to the driver. For example, overspeed alert, driver hours warning. You can inform the driver about the remaining time until the break or rest. And also some of the fleet owners who have many vehicles, who have many driver cards, it's hard to manage all of them. So you can also get card expiration notification. And the second feature is DDD file download. So regulation tells you to collect these files every 28 days for the driver and every 90 days for vehicle units. So with our FMX 150, with Tachograph, with TachoSync solution, you can meet these regulation requirements and have this reoccurring downloads to your server. And how to get this functionality to this device. So it is a huge advantage that even with the current devices you have in your fleet or in your warehouses, you can just upgrade the firmware and use it in your current devices. For that, you just provide us the IMEI numbers to our sales managers or support engineers, and we can activate this feature for you for extra cost. Another way how to get it is pre-installed functionality. So if you don't want to play with these upgrades, you can just order it from the factory and just have this functionality right away with the devices that you get to your warehouse. So what you do next, you just install the device to the vehicle and tachograph, and you get this full-scale solution. Going further, how to connect these devices to the tachograph or the vehicle. So as you might know, FMC 150 has 2 CAN lines. And to have this solution working, you have to connect one CAN line to the tachograph and the second CAN line, for example, to the vehicle, or the other way around. And this connection is quite simple. Just behind the tachograph, from the backside, there is a C connector, which you just connect to one of the CAN lines, and the second CAN line can go to the vehicle. For better understanding how it works and for the simplicity of the installers, we prepared installation guides for every single vehicle, how to get the CAN data from the vehicles. And also, if you scan this QR code, you can go to our wiki page where we explained how the tachograph part is connected. And here on the left, you see the list of most popular vehicles, vans specifically, that are being used with FMC 150 currently in these hundreds of thousands of units that we have already sold to the market. So here you see these most popular models like Iveco Daily, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. So all these models will be able to have this tachograph connected. But what is even more important here, that you can even provide extra value to your clients by using CAN data as well. For example, for fuel monitoring, driver behavior monitoring, proactive maintenance, everything that provides extra value to your clients. And that means you can create extra revenue streams for your business. And here on the bottom right corner, you can see QR code for the list of our supported vehicles. And here we have more than 2,200 of these vehicles. And what is even better, that for every single car, we have an installation guide. So even less experienced engineers can use these guides as step-by-step instruction to make the installation easy. And the final part from my side, some of you might be aware that for these vans, you have to connect sometimes 2 CAN lines. And here you can see these highlighted models, for example, Peugeot Boxer, Fiat Ducato, that have 2 CAN lines connected to retrieve the CAN data. However, to make it beneficial to you, we upgraded our supported vehicle list, and instead of just plus for the parameters, we have ones and twos. So what these numbers mean is indication on which CAN line you can retrieve these crucial CAN parameters. So now if you have vehicles that needs 2 CAN lines connected, you can choose which parameters are more relevant to your use cases, and then another CAN line can be connected to the tachograph. So that is it for now from my side. I'm giving back the word to Grigory.
Yeah, thank you, Robertas. I'm absolutely glad that we developed such functionality for FMX 150, but FMX 150 gives us the hardware side. Yeah, it connects to the tachograph and provides us live tachograph data and enables remote file download, but for the fleet owner, it's just the first step, right? Because yeah, they download the tachograph file remotely without coming to the depot, but they also want to be sure, was the file downloaded on time? Where is it stored? Who has access to it? Can we find it quickly if authority asks? And can I run this without someone checking it manually every day? And that's where TachoSync comes in. TachoSync is our cloud-based SaaS solution for tachograph file management. It works with both FMX 150 and FMX 650. And the main things it does, first, it automates download on a schedule, on user-defined schedule, so no manual reminders or no depot visits needed. It handles company card authorization, which is one of the most complicated technical parts of the tachograph solution, but it assures more smooth experience with that. And secure cloud storage, meaning that fleet owner can have access to their files at any location and at any device, compared to manual workflow when the files are just stored on PC. And of course, there are present different notifications and dashboards, but in general, TachoSync is designed in a way to help fleet managers to stay calm and confident that tachograph files were downloaded on time, that they are stored securely, and they are ready when they need them, because authorities are asking for the check. And many of you have your already own developed solutions, and in that case it leads us to another question, because you may ask us, can I get these files into my own system? Can I send them to my own storage, or can I connect them to my existing analytics tools? And the answer is simply yes, because we have TachoSync API integration. Think about TachoSync as an orchestra conductor in this case. For the backend of your solution, it manages the download, it handles the authorization, and then it passes the data to wherever you need. And especially no protocol integration is needed in this case. So because files go directly to your location through an API. And it also ensures smooth synchronization with your already developed existing system. If you already have, for example, companies, vehicles, drivers in your fleet management platform, you can sync that structure with TachoSync. And in this case, you don't need manual duplication, which can have quite high risk of human error. And even small mistake in this process can bring you to stay non-compliant. So you will get a fine or will experience a long roadside check. And to summarize, TachoSync is not just a downloading tool, it's an advanced solution, and it depends only on you how you will use it. Because first of all, you can offer it directly to fleet owners as ready-to-use solution, or you can use TachoSync through API integration as the streamlined backend for your own tachograph solution. And let me bring the whole tachograph portfolio together. We have 3 products: FMX 150, FMX 650 devices, and TachoSync. With TachoSync, I believe it's pretty clear. It works with both devices in our portfolio. But with hardware, I would like to draw a clear line where these trackers should be used in specific vehicle, in specific tachograph use case. And I will start with FMX 150 as our go-to solution for light commercial vehicles. Because when you're deploying tachograph solution for hundreds of vans, installation time per vehicle is very important. And easy and fast installation is especially essential as we approach the deadline of 1st of July. And first of all, FMX 150 is very compact and easy to install behind the dashboard panel. It has internal GNSS and LTE antenna, so definitely it's less wiring during the installation, during the deployment. We provide installation guides for each vehicle supported, as Robert has mentioned, so even less experienced engineer could handle the job. And one of the functionalities FMX 150 provides is AutoScan to make faster configuration and faster deployment on the site. And at the same time, we also already mentioned a broad vehicle compatibility, and I would like to highlight here future-proof part of that, because usually we think about international vans as internal combustion engine vehicles. But for example, in last mile delivery, we already see that vans are going through the electrification process. And if tomorrow your client decides also to use hybrid or electric vans in their fleets for international delivery, you are ready with FMC 150, because we support different EV vans, for example, Mercedes e-Sprinter, e-Transit, and we also support related CAN parameters for such vehicles. So you're able to build more CAN solutions built on CAN data related for electric vehicles. And of course, full tachograph support to stay compliant for van fleets. And for trucks and buses, FMX 650 is the right choice. And it goes beyond tachograph support with specific functionality relevant to heavy fleets. And first of all, it's plug-and-play installation via FMS interface. And of course, if FMS interface is not present in a truck, our team will provide you the guidelines of alternative installation. And the second point, trailer CAN, FMX 150 support the sort of data coming from TPMS and EBS systems. For example, tire pressure monitoring system gives remote visibility into tire pressure and temperature across trailers, and fleet managers can detect pressure loss or overheating before it causes breakdown, or even extra fuel cost because there is happening extra fuel consumption because underinflated tires. And reactive maintenance with DTC reading, one of the strong points for application of FMX 650 in trucks. It helps to detect faults earlier, to reduce downtime and plan service more efficiently. And yeah, of course, full tachograph support for heavy vehicles. And to summarize this part about the hardware, if you serve mixed fleets, vans and trucks, now you have a clear hardware answer for each segment of these vehicles. What device should I choose? And our webinar comes to an end, and I want to summarize it with few infographics. So as you can see, based on our estimation in 2024 and 2025, the addressable tachograph market with trucks and buses only was about 7.9 million vehicles. And it's already huge volume and opportunity for you. But from 2026, we have vans joining this regulation, and the total jumps to 8.8 million vehicles. And it keeps growing in 2027. But more important message is on the right side, and not all solutions are equal in profit, and basic tracking is the first year of profit. With this tachograph regulation, fleets are looking for the solution to stay compliant. And adding tachograph compliance allows to increase your revenue and profit. And adding CAN-based fleet management on top, like for example, you provide fuel monitoring, driver behavior, proactive maintenance, and on top you provide compliance solution, it leads you to the highest possible profit. And when operators coming into tachograph compliance for the first time are already investing a lot of resources and money on tachograph hardware itself, on its installation, on driver training, on process changes, and at the same time, logistic operators are tightly pushed now because of fuel prices. So that is the right moment to offer more than minimum compliance package and use tachograph as an entry point to provide advanced fleet management solution for vans with more profit for you and more value for the end client. I believe that's it. We can finish our webinar. If the questions were answered by Robertas, others received a reply from our dear colleagues from the product teams, and it was a pleasure having you here. We were glad to receive such amount of questions, and thank you for joining this webinar, and see you soon.